I am not generally one for haul videos, but the Knit Picks 246 sale just happened, and so I may have gone a little crazy. And I thought that you might like to see all the different things that I purchased. So if you are interested in a good old-fashioned yarn haul, then this is the video for you. Hello! Welcome to Show and Tell Meg. I'm Megan, and I like to make things. And as such, I really enjoy buying yarn. And I will say, I mean, that can sometimes be a separate hobby. You know, you get the enjoyment out of buying it, and then you get the enjoyment out of using it, and then you get the enjoyment out of wearing and using whatever item it is that you made with it. So it just never ends. Yarn is a wonderful thing. I do have a crazy yarn stash already, but when Knit Picks does this sale, they do it a couple of times a year, but Black Friday is generally the craziest one. They put so many different particular skeins and colors on sale for $2, $4, or $6 a skein. And I can never resist looking. And of course, looking makes me realize, like, ooh, I could try this yarn that I haven't tried before. And I've wanted to because it's so much cheaper. Or I could get an entire sweater worth of yarn for $2 a skein. That's just too tempting for me. And so I made quite a lot of purchases. So judge me if you will, but I thought it'd be fun to just show you what I got. First off, I'll show you what might look boring on here, but I think is very exciting. There were quite a few different types of bare undyed yarn, including roving. And I have not done much yarn dyeing, but I have done some. And I really enjoy having undyed yarn, both to use just as a white, right? Like as a contrasting color, but also it's fun to know that I could dye it any color I wanted to. So this time around, I got twill fingering, which is a wonderful stock yarn. Swish fingering, again, so soft. I haven't gotten to use Swish, and so this was another that I was like, ooh, I could get a skein of Swish, and it's so cheap. Hawthorn fingering, stroll roving, because I have two spinning wheels, and every year I say, this year I'm gonna spin, and you know what? We're just adding to the stack, but stroll is my favorite yarn. And so the thought of being able to make my own stroll yarn is just pretty cool. So some stroll roving. And then this one is a Corriedale alpaca worsted blend. And it feels really nice. Like, it was just too intriguing sounding. I had to try it. Don't particularly know what I'm going to make with those. They're just going to go in the stash for when I need either a bare yarn or something to dye. The yarn that really started me actually putting things in my cart in this sale was the fact that they had so many different colors of Knit Picks palette on sale for $2. So Knit Picks palette is 100% Peruvian Highland wool. It is fingering weight, which I realize this color is like crazy blown out. And it comes in, I'm not actually sure how many colors. I will try to look that up and post it on here to let you know how many different colors it's available in. But this is fantastic for color work of any kind. This yarn is, it's wool, but it's a nice soft wool, but it's just enough to be grippy. And so if you want to make a sweater, if you want to make socks, anything color work, hats, like gosh, the sky is the limit. Anything with color work, this is absolutely your yarn. It is so inexpensive and it comes in so many different colors. I couldn't resist when I saw how many were on sale for $2. So I got I got this entire box of skeins. I want to say I got 50 colors, something like that. But I mean, they're $2 each. And I know that I'm going to use them. And it's the type of thing that I really like having on hand because I have used this for so many little things. Like, I've made tiny amigurumi from Mochi Mochi Land before, and those are all made in Knit Picks palette just because I could get the colors that I needed in such a small size, right? And so, I don't know, I've made amigurumi. I have several sweaters earmarked to use this. I just really enjoy having this on hand. And this is not something that I can buy locally at all, ever. There's nothing remotely close to this, especially not for this price. And so the fact that I found this sale had so many different colors, I just had to get them. So I did get a couple sweater quantities. So this is tomato, which is just kind of the perfect red color for me to wear as a sweater. So that one's going to be fun. And then I also got a sweater quantity of Blossom Heather, which is a really nice pink. I found this year that I really was lacking a pink cardigan. That sounds odd. I'm not generally a big pink wearer, but the pinks that I had were more like mauve and they were heavier weight. And so the fact that this is fingering weight and it's a nice bubblegummy kind of pink, like a light bubblegum, let's say, I know that this would make a really nice sweater. So I have a sweater worth of that. I also got a sweater quantity of this one. This is Regal. And I already had a few skeins of this, so I only grabbed a few more. And now I have upped myself to enough to make a sweater out of it. And then some of my favorites of the single skeins that I got. So this one is Aurora Heather. And actually, it's showing up pretty good. It's a very dark green, hunter green. But I don't know, it just has this really rich color to it. Much more so than you're seeing, I'm sure. But I really like that color. And then the teals are just awesome. This one is Caribbean. I also really like the Wonderland Heather. There's a lot of purples in here, like different tones of it. There's some oranges, which I didn't have before. I know this is showing up red, but this is a very reddish orange and it's called Cayenne, which I think is going to be really handy for color work. I love this yarn. This one is Marina, like beautiful color. I would totally wear this color. So yeah, I know that I now have from bright to boring, I have all the colors that I should need for anything because I already had a decent stash of this exact same yarn. So I'm going to be able to make whatever I want for quite some time. And I am very, very excited about the prospect. Another yarn that I kind of dove in head first with because I never find them this cheap is Wool of the Andes Sport Weight. So I did get these three particular colors for a Christmas project that I'm working on that I have already cast on. This is grass, red, and white. But I also grabbed the sweater quantity in the white again because I could use it as a white sweater or I could dye it to be whatever color I want. Wool of the Andes is another Peruvian highland wool, so very similar feeling to palette. Like it's a rustic wool feel with a lot of grip, but it's also soft. So it's very comfortable to wear, honestly. And then I also got it in this color, which is called Solstice Heather. And I know that's kind of hard to see. I'll try to put a picture up because it's this really rich navy color. And as soon as I saw the colors that were available, it immediately made me think of a sweater I have been wanting to cast on, which is the Unicorn Tapestry cardigan. I'm totally blanking on her name, but I will write it up here. And I have wanted to make this ever since I saw her put up videos about it. I really enjoy her channel. Starcross Knits, right? That's her channel. But I love the unicorn tapestries. And so when I saw that they had sport weight Wool of the Andes in this nice blue color, I knew that this would make the great base for that. And then I just grabbed this color, which is Baltic Heather, as some of the blue contrasts on that, and then Pampas Heather, just a greenish color. And I already had the same yarn in Hollyberry, and then I was going to use that cream color, obviously, for the unicorn. So I can make the whole thing in Knit Picks Wool of the Andes. The next sweater I have decided to make is they had another sport weight yarn. So this is Knit Picks Comfy, which is 75% Pima cotton and 25% acrylic. And they had it in several colors that were $2 a piece, but they had black. And I really could use another black cardigan. And this is cotton, so I knew it would be a good Florida cardigan. So I got enough to make a sweater's worth out of this. And I do have a couple designs earmarked. We're going to see when I actually pick this up what design I decide to make with it. But I got enough that I could basically make whatever I want sweater-wise out of this yarn. One of the yarns that I really wanted to get into heavier because they had so many colors that were available is Knit Picks Mighty Stitch Fingering. So I have used Mighty Stitch before. It is a 100% anti-pill acrylic yarn, and I've used this in the worsted weight before for some amigurumi, and it's really nice, and the colors were nice and saturated. It's very soft, holds up great. And so the fact that they had so many different colors available in fingering weight, and they were $2 each, I knew I would use these for all kinds of gift projects because I make a lot of amigurumi and things that just need a bit of a random color. So I got quite a stash of these to literally just put into the stash. But I also kind of fell in love with this color in particular. This is Ivy Heather, and it's this kind of minty sagey green. And I bought a sweater quantity of this because this was $10 for a sweater, and I really like the color. So we're going to see if this materializes into something one day. I did get some Mighty Stitch in worsted weight as well because these were just really fun colors, and I know I will use them. And I forgot, I also got 4 skeins of Wool of the Andes in the worsted weight superwash in just the white color again because I can use it both ways. I can dye it or I can use it as is as a white in projects. They also seem to be getting out of making these packs of the Ammu-Nation cotton yarn. They had all of these 10 packs for $6 a piece. And they're designed for amigurumi. It's, they say, a DK weight mercerized cotton. It's real thin though, so I don't know. I mean, I think you kind of work it up in whatever gauge you want, but I just bought one of each of the color packs that was on sale because I think these are going to be really handy for some of the animals that I like to make for gifts. I also grabbed these 2 skeins of hand-painted stroll yarn because stroll is my favorite yarn. This one is called Sangria, and this one is called Red Winged Blackbird. And I love these for socks. I love them for sweaters. It's just the best yarn. So when you can get them for really cheap, I always grab them. I also grabbed another sweater quantity of light pink yarn, to be completely honest, because I wasn't sure which pink I would like better, but there wasn't enough time to like order one and see if I liked it before the sale ended in case I didn't like it as much. So I know that I will use all of these pink yarns, but this one is Gloss Fingering, which is a merino silk blend, and it's a fantastic yarn. I have a couple of other colorways in my stash as well. This one was called Proper Pink, and I mean, I have to say, it is a really good pink. So I think that this is going to be the one that I cast on first out of the pink yarns that I bought for sweaters. And I'm still sort of entertaining what pattern to use, but I think this will probably be in the relatively near future. I don't know. I'm really feeling like I'm lacking a pink cardigan, so this will be sometime in the future. I will make a sweater out of it. And then the last pile here was a little bit of an oopsie that I didn't read the listing well enough. So this is all Knit Picks Twill, which I have in fingering weight, and it's a beautiful yarn, wonderfully soft. It's a superwash merino wool, and I loved these colors. I thought that I was buying fingering weight yarn, and it turns out that it's all worsted weight, which is a little bit of a bummer because I do tend to use more fingering weight yarn. But at the same time, I really like all of these colors together. And so as soon as I realized that all of these were actually worsted weight when I thought they were fingering, I started kind of plotting in my brain what kind of striped sweater I could make out of this. And then since it's worsted, I also had that Corriedale alpaca blend in the bear that I think would go with it well. So these, they are kind of lower yardage because it's worsted weight. These are 149 yards each. So it's only about 750 yards total. So I can make a sweater out of that. I don't know. We're just going to see if I can make the style I want that I can make striped and have it look good. But I also have that Corriedale alpaca blend, which is another 218 yards. So I don't know. I think that that actually looks really cool together. So we're going to see. We're going to go to the planning board and figure out what kind of sweater I could make with this. But I think it's a really fun color combination. So this is kind of a happy accident. Just holding this stack, like, gosh, they feel so squishy and amazing. If you've ever felt this yarn, then you know what I mean. And particularly since it's worsted weight, it's way squishier because it's thicker than what I was expecting. So now you can see that I went a little crazy on the yarn that I purchased. I do use a lot of yarn though, so I know that this will get used, and it's more just a matter of time as to when I get to do it. Did you make any purchases in the Knit Picks 246 sale? I'm very curious to find out if you did and what you got if you did. And I can even think like there were quite a few other yarns. This was showing somewhat restraint, believe it or not, because there were a lot of others I'm like, ooh, what about that one? I could do this with that one. Like sometimes when things are so cheap, it's really hard to rein it in, if you feel me on that one. But now I have to try to figure out how to store all of this yarn in my house, and that's going to be a job in and of itself. I'm not generally one for big haul videos because I have a lot of yarn, so I don't like to buy enormous quantities of yarn like this. But sometimes when the price is right, that's when you stock up. Knitpicks is in the final week of their Black Friday sale. So I did want to share with you guys, you can't get the deal that I got for the $2 a skein, but they do have 30% off site-wide on their entire site. So that's still a great deal. So if you are wanting to grab any of these yarns for yourself or get something for holiday projects or for gifts, this is a great time to get all the different things, even the stuff that was not previously in the other sales. You can still get 30% off. So that is valid until November 27th of 2025. So if you're watching this later, I am sorry, it is only until then, but this is a great deal. If you want to check it out for yourself, just click the link below and it will take you to everything that they have available. So thank you so much for watching. If you like this, please do give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you want to stick around and see some of the things that I make with all this yarn over the coming months and years. But until next time, I hope that you can grab some amazing yarn deals in all the Black Friday sales.